Welcome back, traders. I'll be taking a look at the trades I took this week on Thursday and Friday. So let's just go ahead and get into it. So here you see this is Thursday morning. Now, I wasn't looking to trade uh, Wednesday or Tuesday this week because with Monday being holiday, I was expecting Tuesday and Wednesday to be sort of sideways action where we have that accumulation phase and then create that Judas swing. And then I expect Thursday and Friday to be the days that really gonna move a lot. So I was wanting to trade on Thursday and Friday. Now looking here in the morning, we have a 1 hour SIBI and a 1 hour BISI here laid out. I thought this BISI was kind of far away, so I also highlighted this 5 minute fair value gap. And the idea is that even though I am bullish, I'm looking for, since we had this consolidation in the morning, price to come down to either one of these PD arrays, and it looks like it went to the SIBI first. So I was wanting to go for a short, looking for the liquidity below these relative lows and into the 5 minute fair value gap. So here you'll be seeing me take a short soon. And you see I have my orders entered and I marked out the levels. My stop's going to be above this high, and you don't see much here on the 5 minute, but in the lower time frame I am entering into a fair value gap. Okay, so you see I'm in, and you can see I have my target set to 856. It's going to be right here. I'm looking for price to drop down below these relative lows and into this fair value gap. You can see we kind of had some choppy action in the morning, not very clean at all. And even on the 5 minute, we don't really see a clear setup. So honestly, looking back at this trade, I probably shouldn't be taking shorts since the higher time frame bias is bullish. You can even see on my weekly preview video where I talked about how I expect for the all-time highs to get taken. And today's being Thursday, it could just very well not have much retracement at all and simply just run. So even if I do think price will come down to the fair value gap here below these lows, it will be much favorable for me to just trade according to the higher time frame and wait, just let the trade go if it does come down here, and look for a setup long to go for the all-time highs, like I said in the higher time frame video. So we could expect price to come down below this swing low here and go into the volume balance, and then using that perhaps to go back up above these relative highs up here. You can see price is just chopping around, not doing much right now. So this rally is not great, but I am looking at this wick and looking at the consequent encroachment. This is going to be the last line of defense right here. And I'm not really liking this fair value gap. If this fair value gap stays, I want to see price displaced below it, ignoring this any support in this area. But it looks like I may just get stopped out before that even gets to happen. There we go. And like I said, even if I do think price was going to go down here, I think the higher probability was to go long on this day. But I give it some time, and I think I take another stab into it. We can see the price did take out the swing high here, and it's coming back into the range. I'll skip ahead a little bit, just highlighting the fair value gap, and you can see how we are kind of displacing down below it. Should have closed below it, that'd be great. I want to see this used as an inversion fair value gap to go for the lows here. So price did displace down. It could just be coming into this breaker though. And here, I think I'm getting a little bit impatient. I'm a little bit FOMO, thinking I probably missed the move. So I went ahead and put my order here. But uh, honestly, it would have been better to just be patient and try to aim for this fair value gap up here, especially when it's like nearby a inversion fair value gap. I could even wait to see a smaller time frame setup in this area before going in with my entry. But here I just take another stab, thinking, okay, price will drop quickly into the fair value gap below the price, and that is where I will be looking to take my exit. I want to see this fair value gap get respected with resistance here too, and I want the inversion fair value gap as my last line of defense. So I have my stop right above that. So initially it was looking good, but this big step up to it, I wasn't feeling too great. It went past a whole bunch of PD arrays, but initially I do like this wick. It went up there and come back down, but I want to see it forcefully go below this swing low quickly. And here I get stopped out a second time. So not great. Price did end up rallying higher actually from the open. It rallied up 200 points this day. And the takeaway I got was to not trade in the direction of retracements or reversals. Stick with the higher trend. Okay, let's jump into Friday's trading. So I am trading the S&P for this one. I was initially looking at the Nasdaq, so we can see that price rallied up, and this is what Nasdaq did as well. It rallied up, and then I was looking for a Friday retracement. So Friday, I can look for retracements because I'm looking for the TGIF setup, pulling back to 20 to 30% of the weekly range. So for Nasdaq, it already dug into that range, but for ES, I saw that it came just above these relative lows here, just barely missing the 20% pullback. So I'm thinking, okay, it could dig a little bit deeper before noon. So here I'm looking for a short into this fair value gap right here. Here you can see I have my entry at 103, and I'll have my stop right here at 109.75. So looking at this morning on Nasdaq, there was a couple opportunities on the way down. I could have gotten in at the premium level. So if you look at the range from the low to the high, if you take a short, you want to be in the premium area, the upper half. But I missed it and price went down too quickly for me, and I didn't take the opportunity to get in. So I think it got a little too FOMO this day. So here I am on the ES trying to make a trade happen. I think probably because I was FOMO, I should have just let this go because it did come in within one tick of the TGIF. That's probably enough of a pullback that it probably doesn't need to dig back into it. Nasdaq already did it and already retraced back up. And there wasn't really any news on Friday. So the only volatility injection was going to be that 9:30 open, which was this move down, and that's probably it for the day. Uh, Spoiler, the price did come up and just started consolidating here for the rest of the afternoon. So what I can say is my biggest takeaway this week was first of all, I only want to trade in the higher time frame direction, right? Even if I think retracements can happen, it's just a higher probability if I trade in the direction of the higher time frame trend. Secondly, you gotta try not to be FOMO, you know, meaning I need to be willing to just let the move go if I miss it and just wait for the right opportunity. So that's waiting for price to come back up to a premium to short or a discount to long, or just letting the move go for the rest of the day. Because if you don't trade your A plus setup, then it's going to be a low probability setup. And that's just going to make you frustrated if you take a loss. And even if you take a win, probably won't feel that great either. So there's really not that much benefit for trading lower grade setups. So these are two lessons I've learned this week, and I'll be taking this into next week and working on these going forward. So if you like this kind of video, give this video a like, make sure to subscribe. I'll be posting every week, and don't watch out for my weekly preview that I'll be putting out this weekend. And I'll talk to you next week. But I will just go ahead and let this video play out so you can see the rest of the trade happen. Okay, so that was the first stop out. I did make a second attempt later this afternoon. Let's fast forward a little bit. So here, as price went down, I took a short. So on the lower time frame, and I'm looking at this fair value gap here to provide resistance and looking for sell side below here. So as you can see, we had the morning move, and now price is kind of hanging out around equilibrium from this high to this low, and it will just hang out at the equilibrium for the rest of the afternoon. So one thing I do have to say about risk management, I am using only one contract for all of these trades. So here we got the stop out right here, and before I finish the video, I want to show you the spreadsheet. Okay, so here's the spreadsheet. You can see here are my trades from this week, from the 22nd and 23rd. Took quite a few losses, so I am down, and I will be using the minimum size going into next week until I can recover at least 50% of the losses before I even allow myself to size up. So that's just part of risk management. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week.